Aloha Friday, everybody. Thank you for being with me on this early version of our normally scheduled 5 p.m. Eastern show. It is 8 o'clock in Honolulu, a lovely Honolulu, 2 p.m. Eastern, and I am excited. Hey, our guest is not showing up, but guess what? I don't let that type of stuff, stop the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears. I'm going to switch the show to this very important topic of the 5 levels of leadership, right? And this is important. I spoke with Steve Worthy yesterday concerning this topic, and I tell you, it's so important to get your leadership right, to get it right. I'll just be blunt. The fact that I don't have a guest today is another indicator. You got to get your leadership right, folks. Got to get it right. So we're going to talk about 5 levels of leadership. I'm excited about this because it's truly an eye-opener. Yesterday, in speaking with Steve Worthy on his show, this topic just continued to resonate in my head. And hey, there's something we got to switch here. And today, I actually was doing my 5-mile walk. I try to walk 5 miles, if not every day, at least 3 days a week, walk 5 miles, because how can you be a leader if you're not taking care of your health? So in that walk, I'm going down the sidewalk, and I notice a big, a big pile of poop. Let's just say that on the middle of this, next to the sidewalk, on freshly placed mulch, right? And it was obviously a big dog. And this is why I'm telling you this story, right? No joke. No more than 2 to 3 feet away from that big pile of poop was a doggy stand. You know what I mean by that? It was a stand, and they had a canister, and they had a couple of packs of full doggy bags. I mean, the packs were full. What kept this individual that lives in the community from going 2 feet to 3 feet? No more. I mean, I had a video, and I did this thing. I was going to post it, but I didn't. I'll talk about it now. What kept an individual that is a pet owner from going 3 feet to get a bag, pick up that poop, and put it in the canister? 3 feet. And so through my head, I'm thinking, this is a great leadership lesson, because you can be a pet owner and still not be able to fulfill the responsibilities and the accountability that comes with being a pet owner. Just because you are a leader by position, hence, pet owner, doesn't mean that you are ready for the responsibility and accountability of leadership. Now, it's going to get hot here today, because I'm not a pet owner because I know the responsibility that comes with that. I'm not able to do that. And so I'm not going to put a pet through it, and I'm not going to put my neighbors through it, because I can't do it. So I won't. And here's this individual that obviously is nameless, because I don't know who he is or she is. but couldn't go 3 feet to fulfill their responsibility as a pet owner. This is not a pet show, folks, right? This is a leadership show. But the same lesson can be applied to leadership. Just because you are at a position does not mean that you're able to fulfill that position. It'd be best if you just said it. I'm sorry. I would love the money, but I cannot do what you're asking me to do as a leader. I'm going to have to wait till I get ready for this thing because it came sooner than I thought. And a lot of people were like, no, go for it. And I'm going to tell you what happens when you go for something you're not ready for. You kill people. You destroy lives. The folks that are under you, they have to, because at the point you're in position, we're going to go through the 5 levels here quickly. But at the point that you're in that position, you haven't even gotten buy-in from the people that that you're leading. And you could potentially destroy their lives and careers by your inability to fulfill the responsibility that comes with leadership. So let's talk about these levels of leadership, right? Now you could tell that whole dog scenario got me all hot and bothered. But as a person that sees and helps leaders develop, it is painful to me, to see how folks have just promoted and pushed on folks through the leadership cycle without a care about the folks that have to follow these people. Now, not everybody's a bad leader. Not everybody's a great leader. What I'm saying is that there comes a time where you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be honest with the people you're leading and say, look, I can't do it. Can somebody help me? Or I can't do it. I got to get out of the way. So anyway, let's cover the leadership, the levels of leadership, right? And I love this book by John Maxwell. If you have never gotten the 5 levels of leadership, I suggest you do. I'm sure that it's probably available on audio version. If you're that type, folks, I was that type for a long time. I just recently started piling up the books, and believe me, they're piling up left and right. But in the 5 levels of leadership, he starts with level 1, which is the position, right? You got hired into a position. It does not take into account whether you're fully capable of executing all that is required of you to that position. You got that position by virtue of a resume and an interview that does not go deep enough. The interview process does not go deep enough to really give the people that are hiring you 100% confidence that you're able to fulfill everything. They're going on by what they see and what they hear, right? Hopefully, your recommendations came from reputable people, and you can fulfill it. But I've seen most often, and more often than I really care to see, people that just take positions because there's money involved and a higher position without them being ready for it. So level 1 is position. What is that? You have the right to be a leader, right? Somebody just hired you into a position. You have the right to be the leader. And people follow you because they have to. Let that sink in. You're the leader because you have a right to be there, because you was hired to be there, and the people follow you because they have to. Now, John Maxwell says it perfectly when he says it's a great place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. Now, I'll tell you, there's a huge percentage, upwards in the 80% of people that are in leadership positions that are at leadership position 1, level 1, and they never see the light of level 2. because they are there for the interests of themselves and the pay, not the people. And it's a terrible thing to witness. People being satisfied with level 1 because they truly are not leaders. They may have been great managers and great technical folks, but have no reason or place to be in that position. You can debate on, whether somebody should be worthy of being there or not. That's not my debate right now. My debate is, or my point is, level 1 leadership position is just that. You're there because you got hired there. So what's the difference between level 1 and 2? And I'll tell you. The difference between level 1 and 2 is the fact that now you have permission by virtue of your relationship with the people that are following you. Not that you have permission, they have given you permission. And they follow you because they want to. It's a big difference from people following you because they have to, and people following you because they want to. Because the fact of the matter is that you cannot lead people until you like people. And on level 1, you don't like people. You like the money. You like the notoriety. You like the shine of your name placard on your door or on your desk. You have no interest in building relationships with your folks. And so you will never see permission by virtue of relationship come your way. And so it's very critical that you understand the differences between those two. If you happen to be with me today, you're getting something out of it already, please send a comment. Let me know you're here. I know this is an early version of Aloha Friday Live. I'm catching my people on Oahu bright and early before they even head out to the workforce today. But I want to talk about this 5 levels of leadership because it's very important for you to understand, not only from the perspective of the leader, but from the perspective of the person that's giving this permission through relationships to these leaders, right? Because I've been in places where the leader has not gained or earned the right for me to give them permission to lead me. Now, I'm a very strong leader in terms of I know who I'm going to give that permission to, and I know who I'm not. And I have no qualms with letting that leader know they have not earned the right to lead me. And so, you have to know it from both ends. My brother John Minya, aloha, and thanks. Great topic, he says. A topic, brother, that needs to be addressed through all types of angles. So you get to level 2. Let's say, you truly was a leader. You got hired for that position. And so now you're executing everything that you was supposed to. And now you've gained the trust of your people. And more importantly, you've gained the permission of your people to lead them. That is so important, folks. If you don't have buy-in from your folks, you are just a level 1 leader. Hey, my brother, Gavin, bro. Hey, bright and early, man. I know. Mahalo to you and aloha, brother. I know it's early over there. But nice to have you. And I tell you that until you get that permission, you are just executing the right of your hire, right? People want to follow folks that they can trust. People want to follow folks that they've earned their permission to allow them to follow, to allow them to lead, right? So And it's a huge difference. Level 1 and 2 is very drastically different. But you know who's at what level. So for those that are in leadership position and you feel like your people ain't listening to you, you know what level you're at. By listening to this, you know exactly where you're at. And now you know what you need to do. And if you're in a position where you're not allowing people to follow, to lead you, you know where they are. The reason why you're not all bought into them is because they're not at level 2, right? They've not earned your trust. They've not earned your position. So the next level, if you can get past those two, great, because you can't get any further until you get those two right. And as a leader, a lot of people confuse level 3, which we're going to talk about right now, with them having level 2. Do you know that people can actually produce results through coercion? So just because the level 3 represents production and results, it doesn't mean that you actually are a level 2 leader. You can actually be a level 1 leader and not have buy-in, but because of coercion and the way you run your environment and your office, probably through fear, you can get stuff done. And you get things done and you get results, but you don't have the people. And what you're going to do is you're going to eat through your workforce. And then you're going to suffer some high turnover. Right now, the last 2 years, turnover has been out the roof. There are companies that are going through 70, 80, 90% turnover rate through their people, because for the last 2 years, they haven't learned that people are fed up with level 1 leaders, right? Level 1 leaders trying to do what level 2 leaders should be doing or are doing. People are fed up with it. That's just plain it. That's it. And so now it's time for the leadership. If you have not taken the last 2.5 years to prep and get all round up and get right to lead your people, shame on you. And if you wasted 2 years of your life not getting educated on how to better lead your people or how to get yourself in a position where you can actually be at level 2 and not 1, then what are you going to do with the next 2.5 years? Man, that's a good question. So here we go. Level 3. Level 3 represents production. It represents results. But like I said, you got to be careful with results. At this level, people will follow you because of what you have done for the organization. Right? Making things happen separates real leaders from wannabes. And I'll tell you from my experience, I have been at level 3, right? I've been at level 3. And it's a great place to be, but those results are not your own. I'll tell you, okay? Those results are not your own, because if you're a level 2 leader, those results belong to the people. The people provided that result. And it is only because of the people that you're able to prove and show those results. It is not the leader. And so at level 3, and I have Iona here. It doesn't show. I'm going to show you right here. Aloha. Iona, thank you for being with me today. Normally we don't get to see each other, but thank you. So the results is through a collaboration of people coming together because they have allowed you to lead them. They trust your leadership. And now all those people are coming together in support of your leadership, but in support of the mission, and they're getting things done. This could be very tricky. And this is where you can truly know whether your leader has still remained at level 1 or 2, because level 1 leaders will take all the credit. Have you seen it happen before? I've seen it happen so many times. I can't even tell you how many times. Level 1 leaders at this point in the timeline of people and leaders and things like that in an organization, level 1 leaders will take all the credit and never mention any of their team. And level 2 leaders, well, the team gets the credit. And they may get spoken of, and they may get, awarded something, but they will always point back to the team. They will always highlight the team. Let's take the Oscars for an example. You get somebody to get up there, and the Oscars are primarily individual, but there are some group awards, right? Some director will go up there and get the award, and they'll be like, yeah, oh man, this has been a long time coming. I've been doing this for 25 years. I finally made it. And then here comes another guy or gal and said, this has taken me 25 years, but I couldn't have been here without my team. I want to bring up my entire team. Everybody come up here. Two different leaders. Now you can guess who of those was level 1 and who of those was level 2. But level 3 is production. Level 3 is making things happen. But at level 3, there still can be some people sneaking, right? So just because you're getting results, and I'm talking now to the CEO and board members, just because you're getting results don't mean that the thing is going down and taken care of by the right leader. Or you want to know how? Go down and speak to the workforce and ask them who really did it. Not too many CEOs and board members are going down enough to ask who really did it. And they should be giving the praise to the team, because nothing happens by an individual. And so you have to remember that. So level 3 is where things happen, results. But don't get all wrapped up on the results, right? So what's next? Level 4. Level 4 is people development. You get to reproduce, right? Now, by this time, hopefully, you've weeded out. Level 1 leaders will never see level 4 until they transition from level 1 to 2. You cannot skip and jump. This is not one of those things, right? You can't clip out of this one. It's a thing that we used in the military. We would be able to, clip a course because of the experience, and you would get credit for it. This is not one of those scenarios. You can't clip your way through these levels. But when you get to level 4 is when you start developing people. The people start to follow you because of what you have done for them. And plain and simple, helping individual leaders grow extends your influence and your impact. At this point in time, the leader is void of themselves and has now devoted their time to the people, to their development, to bring up the next person to take their job. And all along the time, a level 4 leader has been doing this. But at this point, at level 4, They are looking to find a replacement. They are looking to bring better to the individuals. You start to reproduce a level 2 leader. You start to reproduce a level 3 leader. You start to reproduce a good leader. And people follow. They have not just given you permission to lead them. They have now devoted their time and effort and everything to make sure that you succeed just as much as you are making sure that they succeed. It's a beautiful place to be. But I'll tell you that not too many leaders get here and stay here. You must void yourself. You got to be voided of yourself. It's not thinking of, and it's been said, right? It's not thinking of yourself any less. It's thinking less about yourself and more about your people. So all of that to get us to level 5. Now I'm going to tell you this. There are not that many level 5 leaders out there. They stand out. They stand out like a sore thumb. And the level 5 leadership is the pinnacle of all the levels of leadership that I've been going over. It's where respect is high, where respect is at the utmost. And it is respect from the people to that leader. This is where people follow you because of who you are and what you represent. Have you ever been there? Somebody said, man, I will follow you. Wherever you go, I'm going to follow. You ask me to do something, and you can count on it. They are sold out on the leader because the leader sold out on them a long time ago. This is where respect has its day for the leader. And it's the highest leadership accomplishment, because the highest leadership accomplishment is developing others and other leaders to get through level 4. One day they will be at level 5, where the person is respected by all they have given to their team. So out of the 5 levels of leadership, where do you find yourself? Because I'm going to tell you something. It takes you to be real honest with yourself to figure out where you are. And the sooner you can be honest with yourself is the sooner you'll stop hurting your people, because you're faking it till you make it. Those days are over. People will tell you exactly where you are. If nowadays, right? Nowadays they'll tell you, nope, sorry, I cannot be under you. I'm out. That's why you see a lot of turnover. It has always been that people normally leave. It's not always been, but normally if people leave, they're leaving people. They're leaving people. And now most people understand that they got choices, and they'd rather be without a paycheck than under a bad leader. So where are you? What level are you at? And can you be honest with yourself enough to say, man, I'm at 1 and I've stayed at 1. I've been at 1. It's time to change some things. For the sake of your people, I hope that you're honest with yourself. And for the sake of your people, I hope you're looking to go to the next level. And if you are looking to go to the next level, I'll let you know right now, I can help you. I can help you get to the next level. So that's all I wanted to do today, folks. is talk about the 5 levels of leadership. And I'll tell you, it's time. It's time for people to be right, to be truthful, right? And as my friend John Minion says, servant leaders. It's time to serve the people, folks. If you want to be a leader, it's time to serve the people. So those are the 5 levels of leadership. I hope you've enjoyed all the information. I got a couple of things to talk about here. Number 1, my favorite cookie. Check out Honolulu Cookie Company. I'm telling you, you'll never regret ordering some cookies from them. I am getting no proceeds or anything except the fact that I love me some Honolulu Cookie Company cookies. So check them out, right? Another thing, Podfest. Podfest is around the corner, May 26th through the 29th at the Hilton Orlando. If you happen to be in Orlando and want to go and want to get your own ticket, be my guest and use DTLW Podcast 20 at checkout for 20% off your ticket. But let me tell you, I love to do one up. I got one better for you. Now, if you want to go on your own, don't want to see me and all of that, that's all right. Get your ticket, get your 20%. But if you want to join me as my guest, and you are a DTLW Podcast subscriber, I got some great news. I can give 3 tickets to my listeners that are here in Orlando, would like to go to Podfest, or maybe you like to fly in. If you want a ticket and join me and enjoy Podfest with me, DM me. You have to be subscribed to DTLW Podcast and a listener for that. I'll obviously verify, but DM me. I'd love for you to join me and be with me. We were talking about the 5 levels of leadership, folks, and it's been great. I hope that you got something out of it, and I hope that you learned something from it. We will see each other next week, Friday, as I have another guest, or let's just say, as I have a guest, to discuss leadership from a different perspective, different angle. Folks, aloha, mahalo nui loa for joining me today. And I send all my love and best wishes. Have a great weekend. We'll see each other next Friday.